Alright guys, today we're going to get on our computers and go on to Teams, and we're going to do a Teams assignment based on linear and quadratic expressions. So y'all can get started on that. I'm going to have y'all do 4 of the questions, and 3 of them I'm going to have you go up to the board and answer. So y'all be ready to go up to the board and answer and explain what you did. I'm going to give y'all 5 minutes starting now. Scratch sheet of paper. How are y'all doing the factoring? Are you doing the FOIL or are y'all doing the box method?
Box.
Box? You're doing the box too? About 2 more minutes. How are we feeling? You feel pretty certain about your answers? Feeling good? Bad? So? Who wants to do number 1? Go ahead. On the board. Please explain to everybody how you did it and how you got your answer, please. You can explain it after if you want.
Alright, so, you basically just flip the signs on these, -4 and -4. And then you just factor the original equation, and then you take the length out the variable. To your y-intercept.
Good job. So she said you just flip the signs, and then she used the box method, and you put them all together, and whatever number in the equation that doesn't have an x attached to it is the y-intercept. So that's the vertical intercept. Good job. Okay, who wants to do number 2? You, Franklin, go ahead. Same as Symphony, explain after you're done, please. Okay. I got it. Is the 3 right? If it's a plus and you flip the signs, what does it make it? Negative, right? So put a negative sign in front of the -3. The other one. Yeah, that's fine. Minus. There we go. So Franklin said you flip the signs, which is correct. And whenever you flip the signs of that equation, x minus 5 becomes a positive 5, and x minus 3 becomes a positive 3. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome, awesome. Good job, Franklin. All right, one more. Number 3. Who wants to do number 3? Go ahead, Jocelyn.
The question was, you are given an equation. You're given an equation in both standard and quadratic form. Which one is best option when finding the y-intercept? I said it would be x 2 plus 7x plus 5 because it's unattached, the y-intercept is unattached to the x in the equation.
Good job. So what is the y-intercept? Can you point out? Yep. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Erase it.
So let me explain it real quick. So we got standard and we got factored form, right? We got standard form, factored form, right? Same thing, but one's unsimplified, the other one is simplified. So from here, we can find the what? The x-intercept, right? So we got 4, 0, negative 3, 0. And then from here, we can find the y-intercept. So we can make a graph out of these equations, right? Okay. Awesome. I passed out a piece of paper, and it's our notes for the day, and I'm going to go ahead and go over those notes with y'all real quick. Let me put it on the board, and we'll be good to go. How does everyone feel about the team's assignment? Good? One? Easy? Good. That's what I like to hear. Alright. The first one, make sure we're on the right side because the last period started on the wrong side. It's the line with the linear graphs. Okay? It says graphs A, B, and C represent 3 linear equations. Y equals 2x plus 4, y equals 3 minus x, and y equals 3x minus 2. Which graph corresponds to which equation, and explain your reasoning. So what can we tell, let me write these out real quick. What can we tell from this equation right here? Anybody? Yeah, the y-intercept's 4. Okay. Awesome. So we can go ahead and go to the graph and see this can't be the y-intercept, right, because it's negative. So we can use the process of elimination and say it's not C. Alright? And then there's only B and A, right, that have a y-intercept that could be 4. But these two, right here, this one has a negative slope, right? So if it has a negative slope, does it go this way or that way? What you got? Yep. So if it's a positive slope, it's going that way. And we know from here that this is a negative slope, so it can't possibly be that. So we only have B as an option since this is a positive slope. So we're going to say this equals line B. Okay. Now that we got that one out of the way, we're going to do the y equals 3 minus x. Okay. What does this tell us? What do we got right here for this 3? Symphony said it last time. Y-intercept, that's right. Good job. And then they're all the same. So what is this x going to be? The slope. Yep. Good job. Okay. Is that slope negative or positive? Negative. Okay. So which line is the only line that's negative on that graph? A. So that one's a given. So we got A line. Okay. Last but not least, we got C, right? We can just mark that down. But for this equation, we got 3x minus 2. Let's label them one more time. What's attached to the x? Slope, right. And the number without an x is always the y-intercept. Is the y-intercept positive or negative? The y-intercept? Negative, that's right. Good job, good job. Do we got this? Any questions? No? Yes? No? Okay. Alright. This next one is a little rather lengthy one, and I don't want you to do B or B on this one. All I want you to do is try to solve them out. I'm going to help you. So we're going to use this x, right? All these numbers that are associated with x, and we're going to put them into these equations. So for the first one, how would I write this x squared plus 10 with me involving these x's? Anyone know? The number for x? Yeah. So for the first one, let's just go ahead and say we're doing 3, right? It'll work. 3 squared plus 10. Does anyone know what negative 3 times negative 3 is? Guys, positive 9, right? Okay, and then 9 plus 10 is? 19. Good. Okay, so we know we got 19 there. Then we're just going to go down the list. We're only going to do these two equations because they map what these two map. So we got negative 2 squared plus 10. And then we're going to have negative 1 squared plus 10. Let's go ahead and do these real quick. Negative 2 squared is 4, right? Plus 10 is 14. Okay? Negative 1 squared is just 1. 1 plus 10 is 11. Okay. So we got 14, 11. Then we got 0 plus 10. What's 0 plus 10? Just 10. Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick behind this. So whenever you duplicate numbers that you're using an exponent for, so the squared in this case, they always end up to be what? If you multiply negative times negative, it becomes a what? Positive. So if you multiply a positive times a positive, what is it? Positive. So if you're thinking like that, this one and this negative one, they're gonna have the same answer, right? Does that make sense? So all you're doing is you have to get the first 4 of every graph, or depending on how many it has, and split it in half, and then you can just duplicate. So this one's gonna be 11, this one's gonna be 14, and this is gonna be 19. Does that make sense? Awesome. It saved you a lot of time. We'll do this x squared minus 3, and then we'll move on. So we got negative 3 squared minus 3. We got 9 minus 3, which is 6. And what can we go ahead and do on the other side? We can fill in the what? The other 3, right? Yeah. So we got 6. And then we got negative 2 squared minus 3. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. You can do it to the other side as well. Okay, and then we got negative 1 squared minus 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So we got negative 2, negative 2. Right, there it goes. And then we got 0. 0 squared minus 3 is negative 3. Got it? Easy peasy? Squeezy. Awesome. All right. Now let's move on to the back. Okay, it says here are graphs that represent 3 quadratic functions defined by f of x equals x squared minus 4, g of x equals 1 minus x squared, and h of x equals x squared plus 4. It says match each equation to a graph that represents it and explain how you know. Okay, so what did we establish with those first equations? What's attached to the x? The slope. Okay, so we got slope, and then what's attached to no x? The y-intercept, bless you. Okay, so if we're looking at it, which one is the only y-intercept with negative 4? Which one? Well, yeah, F, but like what on the graph? B, right? Because it's right there. Do we all see that? Awesome. So we know that since negative 4 is the y-intercept, B matches F. Okay. Next one, we got 1 minus x squared. What is the y-intercept? 1, right? What is x squared? The slope, right? Okay, so which one's the only one with a y-intercept of 1? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got y-intercept of C matches F, or matches G, I'm sorry. And the last one is process of elimination. We know H is gonna match with A, right? Okay. And then it says, write down the equation that can be represented by C, which part of the equation tells us that the graph opens downward. So we said that G matches C, right? So that one is 1 minus x squared. How do we know? Do we see a pattern of the x squareds? Like, you see that these are both positive, right? But this one has a negative sign in front of it, right? Okay, so whenever the x or the slope is negative, that means that the parabola is gonna open downwards instead of opening upwards, like that, okay? So it wants you to explain why it opens downward. So you can just say the slope is negative, right? Awesome, guys. Okay, y'all try to do the next one by yourself. It says the 2 equations, y equals x plus 2 and x plus 3, and y equals x squared plus 5x plus 6 are equivalent. Which equation helps to find the x-intercepts, and which one helps find the y-intercepts most efficiently? So I'm not going to answer this question. I want y'all to do it. What equation helps you find the x-intercepts the best? What do you think? If you were to find the first one, right? which is the factored form
3x2 plus 5x plus 6.
for the y. Yeah. So how would you find the x-intercepts from those two equations?
Just flipping the signs.
Flipping the signs, that's right. And then how would you find the y-intercept for the second equation, the quadratic?
Flipping.
It's at the end. It's not attached to the what?
X.
Correct. Awesome, guys. Awesome. That's good.